Hey everybody, this is Pooka and welcome to the 4th episode of Poké Center, your home for Pokemon TCG news, tournament results, and more. I apologize, this week's episode is a little late, been a little busy lately, but this week we will be discussing the results from the 3rd and final week of state championships. In addition, we'll talk about a new promotional box where you can get a new promo, and also I'll take some viewer questions that people have emailed to me. So, stick around, that's coming up next here on Poké Center. Alright, after 3 long weeks, state championships finally are over. So let's just take a look at the results once again. Each week we've gone through and seen which decks have come out on top, seen if there were any surprises. The first week was mainly dominated by Zekrom Electric decks. We had also the Celebi Mewtwo, sometimes as Tornadus as well. That deck really was the second most popular. He had the second most amount of wins. There was the introduction of that new Terrakion deck, sometimes featuring Landorus as well, so the other deck also was Durant. So really those were the 4 main decks, and in the second week we saw pretty much the same thing. The Zekrom Electric deck was the most popular, Celebi Mewtwo as well, but then we saw some other stuff like a Donphan Mewtwo deck and a Tornadus Terrakion deck. They also won states in the second week. So in the third week, we pretty much have more of the same. With 7 wins, we have the Celebi Mewtwo deck, of course, still around. Some of them featured Tornadus, some did not. But 7 Celebi decks in total won state championships over this past weekend. And of course, Zekrom Electric still tied for that number 1 spot with the most wins with 7 as well. So, still, those 2 decks are the most popular, but we did see a little bit of variation, some interesting results, probably some unexpected results, to be honest. The first one would be a Magnabore deck, a Magnezone Emboar deck. Did well in Australia, it won a state championship out there. Really thought Magnabore was dead by now, but maybe just the power of Magnezone. Of course, if you can get that deck going, it's very strong, but the problem has been getting it going. A double stage 2 deck in a basic dominated format is tough to set up, but looks like Magnabore did get a victory. Also, a Typhlosion Reshiram deck won a state championship as well here in the US. So, stage 2 decks, somehow they're still around. Didn't really expect them to be able to win at this point, but there you go. It's just showing that, hey, maybe stage 2s have a shot. Otherwise, we just have the Durant deck. Did win another state championship this week. And then a Landorus Terrakion deck, as well as the Tornadus Terrakion deck, which has affectionately been named Troll by its creators. It's the Troll deck. So, yeah, a little bit more variation in the results this week. You know, maybe some weird decks win here and there, but still, by far, the top 2 decks clearly are the Zekrom Electric deck and Celebi Mewtwo with Tornadus maybe. There's also some other techs thrown around in there as well, but those are the top 2 decks from state championship. Now, we will have regionals coming up in a few weeks, and the format will remain the same. So we'll have to see, will these 2 decks just remain dominant throughout regional championships, or will people come up with some new decks? Will these other decks like the Troll deck, or maybe just the Landorus Terrakion deck, or maybe even Magnabore can make a comeback. Who knows? We won't be getting any new cards between now and regionals, but you never know what ideas people can come up with. So it'll be exciting to see what people can come up with for regionals, or maybe we'll just see the same decks dominating. But we will find out in a few weeks. People have some time to test out their decks, and looking forward to seeing how that turns out. So state championships are over, and that means we get to take a look at the championship point standings for people that are trying to earn an invitation to the World Championships, and just to take a look at what it would be like, what you would need to get an invite at this point to be on track. First place actually has a whopping 55 championship points at this point. So that is a lot, especially considering there's still regional, battle roads, and nationals left. So a lot of people speculated at the beginning of the season that you would need about 45 points to be safe with your invite. But when you take a look, right now we're just done with the states, and 40th place has 39 points. So it's the top 40 that get invites, and he already has 39 points. So maybe the cutoff this year will be somewhere around 50, could even be higher. So if you're shooting for an invitation, at least in North America, you're probably going to have to be somewhere around 50 or higher, which is a lot higher than what people expected. So we will keep track of that championship point race as the season progresses, and we will tell you how people are doing and what really is going to happen. And of course, when all the standings get finalized, we'll report that as well. So just something to keep an eye out for as the season goes on. Just interesting stuff to look at in this first new season where we have championship points. We've converted over from the ELO rating system, and we'll see how the championship point system turns out at the end of this season. Pokebeach.com released information on a new box that's coming out, the Kyurem box, which will feature 4 packs of Black and White Series expansions. Not sure exactly what packs those will be, but we'll find out, I guess. And then comes with a foil promo Kyurem card, which I assume will be a different art than the normal one that's found in Noble Victories. So, cool new art for Kyurem, and also it comes with a Kyurem figure and also an online code so that you can get your Kyurem to play on Pokemon TCG Online. So, not sure when that's expected to come out, but exciting news if you're a Kyurem fan, and it's always cool to get some alternate art on cards, so keep an eye out for that. Should be a nice little deal to pick up, and an easy way to get some competitive cards. Alright, now it's time for the question and answer segment. Every week I take a few questions from our email account, which is ttcpokecenter@gmail.com, and I answer them at the end of the show. So if you have any questions you want me to answer, please just shoot me an email there at ttcpokecenter@gmail.com, and maybe your question will get answered. Maybe it won't. I can't answer all of them, but there's a good chance that your question will be picked. So if you have any questions about the game, just send them to me. The first one is from S. Mats. Says, I have a problem and I was wondering if I can get your opinion on what I should do. He says he has a problem trying to find people to test with and trying to get better at the game. There's no one really competitive in his area. There are no real leagues around him, so he's finding it hard to practice. He doesn't really know anybody online either, so he doesn't really have any testing partners or anything like that. So he's just wondering what he can do to try to get better. And my suggestion to you would be take advantage of these online communities that have formed. There's PokeGym, there's even HeyTrainer.org. Both of these have plenty of people who are willing to help new players. There's tons of new players that enter the game every day who are looking to find some practice partners. So the best way to get better is to just find some people and play online with stuff like Play TCG or Apprentice. Those are the 2 best programs to really test out new decks. They're free, they're quick, so I would recommend trying to communicate, come into contact with some people, make some new friends, because the best part about Pokemon is the community, it's the people, and there will be people willing to help you as long as you're nice and respectful and you're willing to put in the effort. So that's really my recommendation. Go onto these message boards and try to find some people to test with. That's really all you can do. So thank you for the question. We'll get into the next question here. From David, he says, First, I want to say congrats on winning states last weekend. So thank you. Says he was able to watch the live stream of the finals and it was awesome. So yes, we did stream finals from the Illinois State Championship last weekend, as well as Maryland. So thanks to those who watched that. If you missed it, we'll be posting videos of it soon. So just want to throw that out there. But his question is it worth playing a Zekrom Electric deck if you can't get your hands on those Mewtwo EX? Of course, Mewtwo is very expensive, very popular too. But says he's been unable to get his hands on any Mewtwo. It's really expensive, and he's tired of playing Durant. So he just wants to know, is it possible to run this deck without Mewtwo? And unfortunately, I don't think so. Maybe later on in the game, if your opponent doesn't use Mewtwo at all, you could get away with not doing it if you have Eviolites on Zekroms and stuff like that. But if you don't have a way to knock out Mewtwo in one hit, usually it's not going to go very well for you. Once Mewtwo gets like 5-6 energy on it, it's really tough to stop. It's just going to be knocking out everything in one hit. And without a Mewtwo EX of your own, it's really hard to deal with. And I think you're at a major disadvantage if you don't have it in your deck. So I wouldn't play a Zekrom Electric deck if you didn't have Mewtwo. Probably try something else. There are some viable options out there still. There's Durant, which I know you said you're tired of playing, but that is an option. There's also these Terrakion Landorus decks that have come out. Those do okay against Mewtwo. And we've also seen a Magnavour deck win in one area, so that's still an option as well. So there are options out there, but if you're going to play a deck like Zekrom Electric, yes, you need to have Mewtwo in your deck, unfortunately. But thank you for the question, David. And we'll get into one more. A user named PokéGeek77 says, "Hey Pooka, I was wondering how many Zekrom EX should be played in a Zekrom Electric deck? Because whenever I see a Zekrom Electric match, I never see any Zekrom EX being played down." And he says thanks. So thank you for the question. And the answer is, really it's up to you. Personally, I'm not a fan of Zekrom EX. I don't like the 3 retreat cost. And he's kind of expensive to power up. So I don't actually play him. But at the most, I'd probably play 1. I wouldn't go more than that. He just doesn't have too many uses. It's not a very versatile attacker. So if you're going to play it, I would play 1. Probably not more than that. So thank you to PokéGeek77 and to everybody else who sent in questions. Again, if you have any questions, please send them to ttcpokecenter at gmail.com, and I will answer some questions next week's show as well. So thanks to everybody who sent me questions this week. Hoping to get some more next week. Alright, that's going to wrap it up for this week's show. Thanks everybody for watching. If you have any feedback, please leave it down in the comments, or again, shoot me an email at ttcpokecenter at gmail.com. Thanks to everybody who watched the live stream of the state championships over the weekend. Hope everybody enjoyed that. It's cool to be able to really just show people what Pokemon's all about and broadcast the games live for people who can't make it to these tournaments. So, hope everybody enjoys those as well. For those who are going to be in the Green Bay, Wisconsin area this weekend, I will be at a convention called Let's Play Green Bay. I'll be there the whole weekend, and you can actually come and play against me if you're in the area. So, I'll be there pretty much just sitting there playing against anybody who wants to play me. So, this is your opportunity if you want to come by and say hi. I am open. Sign autographs, take pictures, and play me in a game of Pokemon. So, if you're anywhere near Green Bay, Wisconsin, please drop by. I would love to see anybody and everybody. I'm looking forward to that this weekend. Also, Thursday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have our weekly talk show, which is the Top Cut, which features all of our members, myself, Drew Holton, Michael Premawat, and Josue Krim Rojano. So please check that out. It's going to be happening, well, tonight. So that'll be on our stream page, which is twitch.tv/thetopcut. Also, follow us on Twitter at TopCutPokemon, and like us on Facebook, which is facebook.com/TopCutPokemon. And of course, check out our website, thetopcut.net, where we post interviews, games, and have some articles every once in a while as well. So check that out. But other than that, thanks everybody for watching. Hope you enjoyed the show, and I'll see you next week.